Magandang araw sa inyo. Welcome back again to my channel. This is Said in Tagalog. You can call me Neo or Naya Nays, whatever works for you. And welcome back to another video. Finally, I uploaded my second video. I didn't get to yesterday. But here I am again on my second day. And for today's topic, I decided before we actually get into some grammar stuff or before we actually start talking about the language, first of all, I want to share my language learning tips on how I believe you should learn Tagalog, or basically how you should approach language learning in general. So one of the things that I've learned as a language learner, and the thing that my friend has recommended to me before, is the fact that you should do a lot of immersion. What that just means is that you're going to listen to a lot of content in your target language. If your target language is Tagalog, try finding some Filipino movies. Maybe they're available on Netflix, but if there's not that many available on your country, then maybe you can talk to some natives, ask some alternative ways to, watch some movies. There are a lot of pirated websites if you're okay with taking a risk like that. But if you're not, then, well, you can, I don't know, let's say like buy a VPN or something to watch movies from Netflix in the Philippines or whatever. But even not just Tagalog, like literally any language it applies. That's what I've been doing for the languages that I've been studying, which is Indonesian, Swedish, Japanese. Though I've been focusing mainly on Japanese and Swedish, not so much on Indonesian. Um, yeah, you should really focus on immersion, and grammar is something that you do as a supplementary. It's something you do like alongside the immersion. You do grammar, but don't focus on grammar. Don't just like completely focus on grammar and then just trying to output very early and try to speak with natives as fast as possible. I wouldn't say so, but unless you have to, like, let's say, oh, you're gonna visit the country in a couple months and you need to learn how to speak quickly. Well, there's a completely different strategy for that. I don't really know, but since, like, if you're not really gonna be in the country for like more than a year or something, then you might as well just completely immerse and maybe immerse for like around, like, I don't know, let's say 3 to 6 months. Seems like a lot, and you may feel like you're not gaining any progress, but trust me, it actually makes progress. Like when you're immersing, you tend to catch the words faster. Like, I'm not kidding. To give an anecdotal example of this, when I was watching an Indonesian movie, um, I watched with Indonesian subtitles, and of course, I didn't understand how most of the dialogues. Maybe you could argue that you enjoy the show less when you don't understand most of it, but that's the point of immersion. You have to like embrace the discomfort and just be like, I'm just gonna listen, endure the discomfort. That one time that I watched that Indonesian movie, when I once joined a voice chat in Discord in Indonesian, obviously I wasn't speaking, but I was just listening. But when they were speaking, I could catch the words faster, and I was like, "Whoa! Oh my God! Wait, I can hear the words. Like it just like in my head. That's what it sounds like. I hear the words like, oh, it's like I'm catching words. That's what it feels like, and that's why you should immerse more because it's actually effective. Even though it looks like it isn't, it actually is. So do a lot of listening, do a lot of reading in that target language, even though you don't understand most of the words. And then you may ask, like, if you're going to read, then like I have like this problem where I look up every single word. What do I do? That's also a good question. And when you're reading, this is my tips for when you're reading in your target language. So if you're going to read something, don't look up every word. Only look up occasionally. So basically, what you do is you read as long as you can. Doesn't matter if you find so many unknown words, just keep reading. And if there's like this one word that you've seen like a couple of times already, like let's say like 3 times, and you still don't understand it based on context, then you might as well check the dictionary. And also, this is kind of the reason why, if you're going to start reading, you might as well read books that have pictographs or pictures. At least that way you have a sense of idea of what it's about. Because if you're just reading a novel that has no pictures and it's just pure imagination, it's you're most likely not gonna enjoy it that much because you have no idea, you have no clue, no you just don't know what's happening. You're just reading words. So yeah, you probably might want to just read novels like that when you've reached a certain level or you're quite fluent enough. But if you're starting out reading, you might as well read something that has some pictures. Like, for instance, if you're studying Japanese, you could read manga in Japanese that has furigana, which is like beside the kanji. There's hiragana text on it, so that you can read it properly. And then if you encounter a word like three or more times, then that's the time to look up the dictionary. And make sure you don't spend too much time on the dictionary. Only spend like, just check it what as fast as possible. You don't need to learn everything about it. Just like, what does it mean? Oh, okay, it means that. Okay, put it down. Continue reading. That's how I do it. That's how I do it when I'm reading a Japanese manga. But it's also okay to just watch anime, but in Japanese subtitles. I know you might not enjoy the show more if you're watching it in Japanese subtitles, but trust me, it still works. Okay, I can't really vouch on it too much, just because, of course, I'm not that fluent in Japanese yet, and I haven't really gotten enough immersion. I need more. I need to keep listening. You know what I mean? But for Swedish, I've done quite some immersion, and I am able to catch the words faster, but maybe not a little fast enough. And yeah, and I can't speak yet. And speaking of speaking, you know, once you've done your 3 to 6 months of immersion, just listening to the language in the, and like the subtitles are not in English, but that one, it's either no subtitles or it's subtitles in that language. Once you've done that, trust me, it's going to feel like you're naturally speaking. I haven't experienced it myself yet because I haven't reached that level on either of the three languages I'm studying. But I have heard some experiences, and I can actually imagine it happening to me as well. Once you've done so much immersion to that target language, the words just come out naturally. Instead of when you're a beginner and then you're trying to construct sentences, you're thinking constantly about the grammar. You're constantly thinking. You have to remember, oh wait, this word comes before this, that. You're constantly thinking. Once you've immersed for long enough, it's going to feel natural. The words just come out of you. Like, they just come out. You know what I mean? I've sort of had that experience, but it's not just quite there yet for Swedish. Like, when I've listened to quite some Swedish already, it felt like when I was listening to a conversation, I felt like I could bring out something. Like, it's starting to formulate naturally, but I can't bring it out yet. My mouth just doesn't have the ability to just speak it out yet. It's not quite there yet. But it can catch the words quick and translate fast like that, especially when the conversation is very basic. Yeah, I can get the words faster. Depends on what I immerse in, etc. So yeah, that's the main goal in language learning. Do a lot of immersion. That's what I recommend. And also this idea that I commonly use, or I've just been explaining to you, is inspired off of Steve Kaufman's videos. And I'll leave a link in the description for Steve Kaufman's videos because, he's a really good linguist. And if you really need some language learning tips, make sure to go check out him, because this is probably like maybe the only language learning tip I'll have. Maybe I will have in the future, but this is like the general language learning tip video that I'm ever going to make. I would highly suggest you watch some videos from Steve Kaufman, because he's just really good, So yeah, that's how I would say you would approach language learning in general. Now let's also talk about how we're going to approach Tagalog. How do we apply that? How do we immerse when there's not that much content? And that's actually a good question as well. Like, there's not that much content available. It also depends on what country you're in. Like, for instance, me trying to study Swedish, there's not that many available Swedish movies from the Philippines, and I don't really have money to buy a VPN. So yeah, you might feel the same way when you're studying Tagalog. And the only tips that I could probably give you is that just like try and talk to natives and like find or ask ways that you can watch movies or series, Filipino movies, series, or maybe Filipino books. I mean, most books written by Filipinos are in English, I'm pretty sure, but like there are still some books written in Tagalog. I just don't really read them. I don't know why. I don't know. It's because the ones that I see in bookstores aren't really that much of my interest. But maybe you find them interesting, so that's that. If you want to pirate, if you want to take the risk and pirate a book or movie or anything, that's completely up to you. But I'm not really going to give you that many tips on how to pirate it. You just, I don't know, maybe just ask some natives. Just, yeah. And most natives speak English anyways, like most Filipinos can speak English, so yeah. We're also going to talk about that in the future, about why Filipinos can speak English, etc., and why we mix it. That's a future video. But for now, these are all the language learning tips. I'm giving you like the ideas on how you should approach this to all the people that are learning Tagalog out there, to all the people that are studying it. Now, another thing here is the fact that these videos I also sent to my friends, and they're Filipino, so they're actually watching this, and they're just like, yeah, I kind of want to be here because I want to learn Tagalog. Because I'm like, man, my Tagalog kind of sucks. Yes, natives also suck in their own language, and all I have to tell you is that like, you're a native speaker. You don't need to be worried about grammar. Come on, man. It doesn't matter. You're a native speaker. These videos were intended for people that are studying the language. I did not intend this for native speakers. That's why I'm speaking in English. If this was intended for native speakers, then I would be speaking in Tagalog right now. But it's not. So yeah, this channel as a whole is aimed towards people who study Tagalog. So yeah, so those are all my language learning tips. Check out Steve Kaufman for more tips. In the future, we're probably going to start with some grammar. I was also even thinking of like maybe like I don't know, creating some skits just to demonstrate some grammar. It's just that it's a bit of immersion. At least you get to hear the language in action. You know, you don't just hear me speaking in English and explaining grammar. No, you also get to see a little bit, tad bit of way that it works. But I'm not too sure how I'm going to do skits yet. Maybe just dialogues instead of skits. I have no idea, but we'll see about that. But for now, thank you for watching this second video. I can't believe I actually made this rude. Can't believe I actually just made the second video already. I was supposed to record it yesterday, but I didn't get to. So now I'm making it right now. And yeah, there you go. I hope to upload soon again. Maybe tomorrow. If not, maybe 2 days. Just I'll upload whenever I can, okay? So that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one.